Hi brides! Welcome to part 2 of 36 ways to cut your wedding budget in half. So in our last video, part 1 of 36 ways to cut your wedding budget in half, we went over 18 different ideas. Now, if you haven't seen that yet, you can go ahead and watch that one right after this, and we'll link it below. But here is part 2, 36 ways to cut your wedding budget in half. A great way to save money is to repurpose your decor and your flowers. If you're using a really cool floral arrangement on your arch, you can reuse that on your sweetheart table at the reception. Your bridesmaid bouquets can be used again as a centerpiece. And that beautiful welcome sign you worked on can be moved from the ceremony to the reception. Figure out good ideas and good ways to use your decor again. Repurpose it, reuse it, use it at the ceremony, then bring it to the reception. Use it at one point of the reception and take it to the ending part of the reception. We ended up reusing tables. We had a table that was a welcome table that had beverages, and we reused it for our favors table, and we set out favors when it was later on in the night. We also used a lot of floral arrangements that were at the ceremony to be used on our cake table and our sweetheart table, so we didn't have to double up on decor that way. Take inventory of what decor you have and figure out a good way to use it more than once. This will help you cut costs on your decor so you don't have to buy everything double. Do a drink in hand toast. This means you're not doing a served champagne toast. That means you don't have to pass out champagne to every single person for the toast. You can do a toast with whatever drink they have already ordered from the bar. This saves you money on servers serving the drinks, on extra champagne, on extra glasses. You can just use whatever drink they have ordered at the bar. Save that money. You don't need to use that on extra stuff like that. A drink in hand toast is just as good as a past champagne toast, and people that don't even like champagne are definitely going to agree with me. Stock your own wedding bar. This is huge. First off, wedding bars are really expensive as well, especially if they come from your venue or if you have to order out the entire bar. Some places will make you pay to have a closed bar, some will make you pay their entire bar, and it's going to be things that you probably don't even want to have at your wedding. Having the full bar open from your venue can cost lots of money that you probably wouldn't have spent if you stocked your own wedding bar. There are tons of different ways that you can save money by stocking your own wedding bar. Purchasing your wedding alcohol at chain stores like Total Wine & More, Costco, Sam's Club will save you heaps of money. Another way to save money on your alcohol is to have a stock your bar party. And that could be for your bridal shower or your engagement party or something like that, where everyone brings in some type of liquor that you can use for your wedding bar. But buying discounted alcohol, sodas, water, whatever it may be, can help you save so much money on having an actual bar. All you have to do is hire a bartender to serve all the drinks that you have purchased, and you could save thousands. On that note, another way to save tons of money on your wedding bar would be to do a beer and wine bar only. You can serve beer, wine, sodas, and water and not even deal with the liquor, so that'll save you lots right there. If you really want to have hard liquor at your wedding, then I would suggest coming up with a signature drink. We ended up doing just whiskey because that is Bart's favorite, and we ended up doing a bunch of different signature drinks that had whiskey or wine, and it ended up saving us a lot of money. So on one hand, you could do just beer and wine, and that's easy, straightforward costs, or you can do signature drinks where they can also order your signature drink, but you're saving lots of money on alcohol you probably would never even need. Pick out just a couple different signature drinks that you would need, and you only need to order those ingredients to have at your bar, and that will help you save. Just like having a smaller guest list, having a smaller wedding party can help you save a lot of money as well. For each person you have in your wedding party, that's going to be extra costs. You have to think costs that if you're helping pay for dresses and shoes or making them do hair and makeup, getting them gifts, getting them extra time to get their stuff done, paying for their lunch, paying for another bouquet, paying for just all the different things that you have to pay for bridesmaid and groomsmen, you are doubling or tripling that price depending on how many extra people you add. Keeping your bridal party small will help you save costs. In part 1, we talked about buying decor that you can repurpose at your wedding. But this one is to buy decor that you can reuse at your house or resell. If you're looking for a beautiful welcome sign with your new last name, find something that you're actually going to want to hang in your own house. Another thing could be to borrow decor. We ended up borrowing decor from my sisters and ended up using stuff from their houses that we didn't have to buy. We could just use at our ceremony. So borrowing somebody else's decor to complement your decor at your wedding could help you save. And if you decide to buy your own decor, you can always make sure that there's something that you can actually resell. After the wedding's all said and done, find ways that you can sell your wedding items, probably to different brides that would love to have the decor that you have, and you can start making up some costs there. So buy decor that you can reuse or sell, or borrow decor that someone else has. Weigh your invitations. People get so excited putting all these pretty little embellishments and metal pieces and hearts and stars and all that on their invitations, only to find out that they go to the post office and they're gonna need 3 times the amount of stamps because of how heavy it is. When you're adding in extra reception cards and directions and RSVP cards, those things can get heavy and you'll end up paying double or triple the amount that you should have paid with just one stamp. Again, having your RSVPs online is going to help you save on that kind of cost, but making sure your invitations weigh just enough for one stamp will save you money on postage. Do your own hair and makeup. This one is not for everyone, and we totally understand that, but if you have someone in your bridal party or a friend that can help, that will also help you save. There are also different ways you can do your hair and makeup without having to have a hair and makeup artist. You can go to places like Dry Bar that will blow out your hair and do a really beautiful style that you want just for the price of a regular blowout, not a wedding hairdo. And you can also go to the makeup places and purchase some makeup and they'll do your makeup for you. There are tons of tutorials on YouTube. You should have some friends who love to do makeup or hair. And if not, then maybe you can come to these other options and go to a salon and get your hair done, or find a good makeup artist at a store that can do your makeup for you that day. But hair and makeup costs can eat up a chunk of your wedding costs as well, especially if you're having them stay throughout the ceremony and do all of your bridesmaids. That's just a cost that you probably can skip on. Skip all of the wedding paper extras. You don't need a menu, you don't need a program, you don't need fans, you don't need name cards. These are all little things that'll start building up chunks and chunks of your budget that you really don't need. Wedding programs aren't really necessary. Menus, they don't need to know what they're having. If you really want your guests to stay informed and know the wedding timeline, what you're eating and all that, go ahead and make a giant sign that you could post at the front of your reception or your ceremony. But save on those costs of printing and the ink and having somebody put them together. You really just don't need to waste your money on that stuff. Now, if you're trying to do seating chart, I would suggest having a seating chart for tables, not specifically for the seats. So you can have a seating chart that has everybody's name and you're at table 7, but instead of being like, you're at the seat, you're at the seat, you're at the seat, that could save you a lot of money as well. Skip the wedding favors. Honestly, your guests do not care, especially if it's like a koozie or a key or something little that's a knick-knack that they have to take home. It's not something that they're really going to care much about. If it's an edible flavor, those tend to go a little bit more, but we have heard tons of brides say they had at least half of the favors left over. Nobody took them. Nobody cared. Save your money. No favors. Okay, so these next two are going to be a bit controversial. Some people are going to completely agree with me, and some people are going to think I'm crazy for suggesting it. But when it comes to your budget, if you cannot afford these things, there are different ways that you can make it happen. Your DJ. We really wanted a live band, but we just assumed for sure a DJ was going to be cheaper. Turned out we found a great live band that was cheaper than it would have been to have a DJ. There are couples that choose to forego a DJ completely. Doing so can save you hundreds of dollars, but you're gonna sacrifice a few things. If you wanna do your own DJ setup, you'll need to get some speakers and you'll have to do a playlist and probably have somebody there to help keep the playlist going. You'll also want to have an MC, somebody that's gonna announce you or have any announcements that you might need to have announced to all of your guests. But you do not have to have a DJ. If it's not in your budget and it's something that you have to decide between a DJ or a photographer, you're gonna want those memories for the rest of your life. I would go with the photographer. I love DJs, they are awesome. They keep the party going, they keep it upbeat, they know when to stop the song, they know when to change to slow songs. They are great, but if you do not have it in your budget, it's not going to break your wedding. Setting up your own Spotify playlist and deciding what songs you want to play is just going to be as good. Try to see if you have somebody that can run the music for you and get to decide which songs are next, and somebody that's going to help move the party along and do those MC type of announcements as well if you decide to do it your own way. But again, that can save you hundreds of dollars. The next one, and I hate hearing brides say that they have to skimp on a videographer or a little bit of a photographer, because those to me are the most important things. If you can't afford a videographer or you can't afford a nice photographer, try to find a student. You can find a student who is learning film and editing that can be a lot cheaper than when they graduate and start their own business. So finding a local college and asking the teachers or the professors about who they know that might be interested in shooting their wedding is a great idea to save you a lot of money. Now again, videographer, photographer are so important because that's all you take with you at the end of your day. But if it's something that you have to forego completely because you can't afford it, check out students. You can hire a student for anything too. You can hire a student wedding planner. You can hire a student makeup artist, hair artist, hairstylist. Just hire a student that will be a lot cheaper than a professional. Another note would be to hire someone who doesn't have a professional storefront. Maybe they're doing their business from their home, or they're doing their business somewhere else that's not. They're not having to pay rent, they're not having to pay insurance, they're not having to pay all these extra costs that make their costs go higher. You can find people that do some of these businesses at home or do them on the side. A florist that could put all your wedding flowers together but doesn't have a shop. A seamstress that could fix your wedding dress at home. Or even a baker that can bake a cake for you. Those people can help you save a lot of money because they don't have all the overhead costs that they need to add into your cost. Another idea is to have food stations. When we were getting married, we realized it was a lot cheaper to have several different food stations than it was to hire a wedding caterer. And I think this may be because the stations that we hired weren't necessarily wedding caterers. They were event caterers. They did events, they did parties. So they were a lot cheaper than hiring a full-on wedding caterer to come in and serve all of our food. So check out food stations, check out food trucks. They have taco stations, pizza stations, sushi stations. We did an ice cream station even. Those ended up being cheaper than a full-on wedding caterer. Barter with what you have to offer. Now, this isn't saying, hey, please give us free stuff, but if you know a photographer that really needs a new website and you're a web designer, maybe you could talk about discounted services for you to make their website. If you have a friend who's a hair and makeup artist and is getting married a little bit after you and you know calligraphy and she needs invitations done, maybe you can decide to trade your services for each other. This isn't to say that any vendor doesn't deserve what their rates are. Of course, all the vendors are worth their rates. But if they need something that you can provide, there's nothing wrong with bartering or trading services for each other. If you have a certain skill set or if you have a business that can help them out, there's no reason that you can't open a conversation at least with these people. Let your friends and family help, especially if they've already offered. You've probably had friends and family offer some help saying, hey, do you need help with this? Or I could do that. And a lot of the times brides just like to say, oh no, that's okay, I've got it covered. But if you let your friends and family help, that could help you save some time for sure. And it can help you save money, so it's something that you don't have to spend money on elsewhere. Your friends and your family are probably already asking, so go ahead and let them help you. Do your own flowers. This is something that can help you save so much money. If you go to a florist and try to get bouquets and boutonnieres and your arch setup and your centerpieces, it can cost a lot. But if you go to a flower market or farmer's market, anywhere that they're selling bulk flowers, then you can get your own flowers and set them up yourselves. Getting bulk flowers from Sam's Club or somewhere like that can also be a really great option. We did this and it turned out beautiful. We also ordered Sam's Club collection of wedding flowers that were pre-made. So they already had our centerpieces done, our bouquets done, the boutonnieres done. It was so easy and fairly cheap compared to what florists typically charge. Get your cake from a grocery store. This might sound crazy, but they have some really beautiful and very affordable cakes. We got ours from Sam's Club and it turned out perfect. We also got their gourmet cupcakes, so it gave it a little bit extra on our table. But check your local grocery store, see what they offer, and they are so affordable and they taste delicious. Choose flowers that are in season and or cheaper than the version that you want. So you can say that you want roses. Well, super nice, perfect roses can be a little bit more expensive than, say, garden roses. So there are different alternatives to the flower type that you want that can help you save a lot of money there. Try to find flowers that actually are in season and are in bloom, and that will help cut the costs. If you decide you want a flower that's in the completely opposite season, they're gonna have to import it from another country. There's gonna be delivery costs, there's gonna be high markups on the actual flower, and it's probably just not worth extra costs for you. So there we go. There's 36 ways that you can help cut your wedding budget in half. Yes, you can have an affordable wedding and you don't have to spend the insane amount of $38,000 for your one day. Take some of these tricks and tips and figure out ways that you can cut back your costs on your wedding. Each wedding is going to be different. Each bride is going to have a different style, different take, things that she has to have and doesn't care about. So you take the ones that work for you, leave the rest away, and enjoy a very nice wedding on a budget that you can actually afford. All right, beautiful brides, that's it for this one. We hope that you save lots of money on your wedding with some of these nifty tricks and tips. And if you have any other ideas or decide to use one of these, let us know. We'd love to hear about your experience with any of these. We'll see you on the next one.